Okie dokie. I have never played Metroid Other M before. Never seen it played. I know some things about it through cultural osmosis. I know that it is fairly poorly received. It's probably the most poorly rated main series Metroid game. Fortunately, it's not the most recent Metroid game. The 3DS Metroid 2 remake was quite good, and we did play through that. I have a prejudice against this game because I don't like Team Ninja. Although I've heard that a lot of the issues with this game aren't from Team Ninja, they're from the Word of God. It's Nintendo that made a lot of the bad decisions with this. My expectations for this, I expect that the gameplay will be fine, possibly even quite good, and that the story will be bad. The memes that flew around in the last 10 years of not having played this involved Samus losing agency, there being too much talking, which is something I disliked about the Prime sequels, that there were too many other characters. To me, Metroid's all about loneliness and Samus kind of being on her own. And that they kind of butchered Samus's character, and there's just too many cutscenes and too much crap that doesn't fit into a Metroidvania. Haven't confirmed any of that for myself, but I'll just go ahead and say that if those hold water, I'm likely to be super duper prejudiced against this. Kind of like how I was very prejudiced against the FF7 remake, and I apologize in advance. I'll do my best to check that at the door. Is this the title screen? Okay, don't judge that. That's a stupid thing to be annoyed by. Entirely written by the original Metroid creator. I know it involves the robot computer guy from Fusion, but like in the past. So before he was an AI based on her former commander. Good start having space, yeah. Should say it's fine if they write Samus as flawed instead of a badass invincible superhero. I think that's actually something that's communicated even though there's very little story in the old school retro Metroid games.
Why am I still alive?
But I basically don't want her to talk. Oh, is this the end of... It is Super Metroid. This already looks like a 2010s era cutscene. This is what really happened in the Super Nintendo game.
Mother, time to go.
Not a fan. I feel like there being basically no dialogue or text in Metroid is one of its biggest strengths for me. I'm totally fine with Prime's use of scanning and having the computer give you some
Okay, Samus. Everything's normal.
environmental text.
I awoke to the familiar voice of a quarantine officer.
Let's try sitting up, huh? Slowly now.
A dream.
Sure.
I had been reliving the tragic moments of my recent past. Thanks to the hyperbeam, which was given to me somehow by the baby, I laid Mother Brain to waste. And the explosion that followed destroyed planet Zebes, along with the remains of Mother Brain, the space pirates, and my long-standing nemesis, Ridley.
I'm not the biggest fan of her voice actress. I'm pretty sure that they got Jennifer Hale to do her grunting in the Prime games, right? She's not really emoting much. Should be ready now.
Right, let's get started. Ready for a quick test, Samus? Let's start with a little warm-up.
If I didn't know that I was supposed to hate this, I would already hate this. Just that opening part, not a fan. I'm sorry, I was really hoping to come into Other M and have the, oh, this is actually a good act. But everyone's take on this isn't fair.
Just the way I like it.
Gameplay feels pretty tight though, this is cool.
Okay, more flaws.
I'm bored with this. Press A, okay.
Go ahead and drop some bombs.
Can we not have a tutorial office with the scientists?
Get out of morphball mode and return to normal.
Super Metroid did this perfectly. 20 years.
All right, stand in the middle of the room.
This is less of another M problem in just this era of games, especially for Nintendo. Nintendo suddenly lost faith in their ability to teach players how to do things with just gameplay scenarios and went way too hard on tutorials.
Just like that, Samus.
A lot of other devs did that too, it wasn't just Nintendo.
Let's invite some of your pals.
It's kind of some cool lockout attack with the shooting. The gameplay feels pretty cool, other than this being a dumb tutorial that they didn't need to do.
Good. Let's check the reaction. Here come some beams. Dodge them. Okay, those are the moves I remember.
I see. So use the usual move.
Nice. Remember how that feels.
Okay.
Next, how about a missile test? Use
It seems like I would accidentally trigger the dodge just by trying to press a move to move out of the way of things. Interesting, okay. Got some Wiimote gestures.
Lurking here somewhere. Find him for me, huh?
Oh, okay, I'm glad I set up the press and hold B to look around. That's kind of cool that it has the first person view and the third person. Neat. Glad I set up the sensor bar.
Looks like you ticked him off. The rest is all you.
The lock-on's pretty nice. Looks like missiles are only in first-person view.
Now, jump on its head.
Jump on its head? Okay.
Samus, now's your chance.
Oh, it wasn't down anymore, okay.
Quick, finish it.
That's neat. Sakamoto demanded it be playable with a single Wiimote.
How about you
Interesting.
try using a power bomb?
Usually I'm Mr. I would prefer the D-pad to an analog stick, but they're gonna take these all away from me. I have heard that the way that this game is a Metroid is that you have an NPC that restricts which upgrades you're allowed to use. Which is kind of creative, but oof. I don't know.
Looks like you took quite a bit of damage. It's unbelievable how well you've held up.
I wondered if this too was a result of the power the baby gave me.
Right, you're due in the meeting room. The big dogs are waiting. I gave your suit a polish so you'd be at least somewhat presentable.
Not even a fragment. None of the baby remained on me. I knew it to be true, but still couldn't help looking at my palm for a sign.
The voice acting is like late 90s, early 2000s.
Never again would I encounter the baby.
Bad.
Never.
You guys weren't kidding about the word baby.
The finality of it struck me once again. Mission completed. The planet Zebes was annihilated, and all Metroids were exterminated.
Pretty sure it was Jennifer Hale in the Prime games just to make grunt noises.
Even, but it felt momentous to me.
Hey, it's the Senate.
I don't know how
It's the
much
baby
time
Metroid
passed
from the
since
end
then.
of Super Metroid, and the
These
one we
went
just
by in a
rescued from
quiet way.
another Metroid 2
People's
remake that helped me out.
recollections of Metroid
I
and
escaped.
Space pirates grew nebulous over time, relegated to
The one that
a
hatched from the egg
concern
that
of the
helped me
galactic
get to the
communities.
ship.
Nothing more
20 minutes
than a
ago.
faded memory. Codename Baby's Cry. A common SOS with the urgency of a baby crying. The nickname comes from the fact that the purpose of the signal is to draw attention. The signal was coming from a remote part of space.
I hate this. I'm
I
sorry.
altered the course of my ship
I
as
hate
if
this so
detour
much.
had already been part of my flight
Even if the
plan.
story was fine, which I don't know if it's gonna be or not.
Baby's Cry.
Don't let her talk. No.
It was as though it was crying specifically for me.
I really was looking forward to coming in and being like, hot take, Metroid Other M is actually pretty great. People should chill out on it. I think it has exactly the things that I hate, though. Maybe if the voice acting was better and the writing was better, I would be okay with her talking constantly and monologuing. Them being bad, when they... It's like... If this were Devil May Cry or something, I'd be like, whatever, who cares? It's part of the fun. But it's like Metroid has already done this fine for like decades at this point, right? It had solved the problem. You know what we need to do? Do that award-winning formula again. Do it bad this time. If it was a different game, and not the game that it is, it would be better. I think this has a ton of baggage coming in as a Metroid game. Like if they had just made another sci-fi Metroidvania, and that wasn't Samus. Yeah, I'm concerned about that too. Samus is like one of the few super early feminist icons in gaming. Like it was kind of quite... I guess the reveal in the NES game was like, oh, the main character was a girl the whole time. It's cool, I didn't know that. Ended up not really mattering. Neat. How much have we spent on CG for this? 12 minutes in? Yeah. Point the Wiimote at the screen. I don't want to. Galactic Federation.
Galactic Federation? Huh?
Oh my god, you didn't have to read it out loud, we just saw it. It showed us, and then you told us. The gameplay feels great. Oh no, not this. It's fucking 2010s Matrix slowdown badass. No peril.
Remember me?
Anthony.
There's only one person who calls me Princess. And that person is Anthony Higgs of the Galactic Federation Army.
Haven't seen you since that last mission. Hey, and your buddy's here too.
Stop the cutscenes!
Adam Malkovich, a general in the Galactic Federation Army.
The
Not only a
small,
trusted confidant, but also
super
my
brief
former
sequences of
superior officer.
dialogue in Metroid Prime 3 were too much.
Yes, there was a time when I
Don't
was
do
enrolled in the
flashback.
Galactic Federation Army.
No!
And then I was young and inexperienced. As the result of a certain incident, I left Adam's command and set out on my path as a solitary bounty hunter.
I thought people were exaggerating. I didn't think it could be this bad.
What are you doing here?
I thought it was just the basic conceit of there being
The first
Adam
words out of his mouth were typical
and them
coming from
restricting
Adam.
your upgrades.
To answer his question, I recounted the details of what had brought me to this place.
Yes, doesn't
Then
count as
I
an
asked
awesome
what
game.
circumstances led the Federation.
I need to play
here.
this though, because I have an opinion on it without playing it, and I don't like that.
Information is not for an outsider.
The word he so obviously chose, outsider,
No!
pierced my heart.
I feel like I could enjoy this game if I just mashed the skip cutscene button,
Commander, we're all prepped.
but then I won't be exposed to why it's problematic. I can just imagine this game being hyped up,
I think our only
seeing the
option
whole
is
like,
to
oh,
wait
it's
till
doing
slowly burn
the
out.
first person and 3D,
This is gonna take a while.
buying it on day
electrical system here is out.
one, and then just
can't get the
being
barrier
jaw
wall.
dropped in shock and
We
dismay.
tried using explosives, but it's tricky to pull off without collateral damage. What we need is some way to focus the power onto one centralized location.
She's like a guest in another person's movie. Shoot it with a missile? Why does that dude have scary spider pizzicato strings?
Let's go.
All right.
I guess the entire situation has scary spider strings.
Adam hadn't authorized it, but I decided to remain on site for the sake of the others.
Oh, I hate this. Samus has decided not to use bombs or missiles until Adam authorizes them. That pop-up is so bad. It's like they're trying to give her agency there, right? Samus decided. She could choose not to, but... Oh. So, like, a decade of negative press for this game did not prepare me for it. Adam has not yet authorized the use of bombs. So there's something I should be able to scan, right? I don't know what the flashing blue circle is. Is that the objective marker? Yeah, I agree. She wants his approval, right? Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that's important. If this was in another game, I would be like, wow, this is really bad. Like, I feel like this is the level of something like Devil May Cry, right? Where it's like, okay, the story doesn't really matter. That's not what the game's about. I don't care. And in this case, like, Metroid already knew that the story wasn't really what it was about, but it did all of its storytelling completely show don't tell. Right? Like, you get the whole thing about the baby Metroid with no dialogue in Super Metroid. So I think it hurts especially because it's a sequel to a Metroid game. Yeah, they didn't establish anything. Exactly. I think that's supposed to show that I can drop down here. Okay. And the gameplay still feels fine. Pretty clean. The idea of there's some reason not to use her upgrades is a neat idea for why Samus can't use the stuff that she's supposed to have after Super Metroid. That's fine. The way they did it is incredibly gross, though. Yeah. It's like the final season of Game of Thrones. Like, guys, you were doing so well. What the fuck? If it had always been like that, it would be different. Yeah, they've done the suit is broken thing. It was super simple. Metroid Prime 1, you bump into a wall. Oh shit! Upgrades disabled. Oh well. Or just don't comment on it. Do the Mega Man thing, right? You just don't have your abilities because it wouldn't be a video game if you did. It's fine. If she came here as part of the army, if they were like, oh, this is a hostile alien planet, your bombs might cause problems, something, 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 whatever. Basically anything other than the way they did it. And then the way they did it, if you're gonna do it that way, there's ways to do it that's less bad. Samus decided not to use her bombs and missiles until Adam says it's okay. What? This is kind of cool though, like these little sequences going into first person and deciding where to go. It's a neat idea. Stand on the platform to save the game. Oh, but we gotta have dialogue for that too, right? The thing that in Super Metroid, you stand in the save, and it's just like, and then your game saves, and you get healed. Got it. Doma. That's why we've been hearing spider pizzicato strings everywhere.
He's dead. Someone or something attacked him.
Whoa. Get away from me! Lyle! Enough!
It was obvious that there was some pervasive danger throughout the facility. I didn't know what had brought Adam here, but I did know that cooperation was imperative.
She looks absurd around them.
Adam, listen to me. Clearly, this facility is in complete disorder. It might be too dangerous for your men to go alone. That's why I've...
Look at that.
They're coming out of the wall! Right, stay calm.
What is...
Hey, it's the leech monster from Resident Evil 0. Yeah, sure. Alright, I can't use missiles anyway, right? Don't think I can dodge on this screen, right? So give me a second to switch. Okay, that's cool.
This ain't good! Nothing's working! Listen up! Freeze guns authorized! Samus, I'm authorizing missile use!
Does he know that I wasn't gonna listen? Why would they even do that really janky tutorial to teach you all this stuff if they're gonna do it again later anyway?
Concentrate fire in a single location and freeze that thing! And Samus, you attack the frozen spot!
Yeah, tell me what to do in the boss fight, huh? Got it.
Samus, looks like I'm gonna need to ask for your cooperation.
Get up on the Hydra's back.
But I'm also gonna have to ask that you follow my commands. You don't move unless I say so, and you don't fire until I say so. Any objections, lady?
The thumbs up sign had been used by the Galactic Federation for ages.
Oh.
Me? I was known for giving the thumbs down during briefing.
Oh my god, that's so dumb. No.
I had my
Stop.
reasons, though.
This hurts.
Commander Adam Malkovich was normally cool and not one to joke around. But he would end all of his mission briefings by
This is like the
saying,
Star Wars prequels.
"Any objections, lady?"
How?
I was joking, but others weren't. At the time, I felt surrounded by people who treated me like a child. They used kid gloves because I was a woman.
No, don't.
And yet with
Bad.
Adam, I was grateful for the nod. My past has left me with an uneasy soul. And as a result, it touched
Your
me on
past
some
is that you
level
were raised
Adam
by
would
bird
acknowledge
people,
that past by calling
and they
me
gave you a
something
cool
delicate,
superhero
like
suit,
lady.
Oh god.
And I knew more than anyone that every word from Adam was deliberate. My thumbs down was a twofold response.
Oh,
A
that's
sign of derision
so...
at being called a lady, and a signal of my complete understanding of the mission order.
That's so fucking stupid. That's so fucking...
The other soldiers were always willing to support me with easy smiles despite the fact that I clearly had so much yet to learn. Among them was Anthony. In the face of his well-meaning behavior,
I want to go
and
back
that of the other soldiers,
to when I just had a vaguely
My
negative
response
opinion
was
of
to
this game without having
become
played it,
increasingly
without
bitter.
realizing how bad it actually was.
I was a child, always with something to prove, a chip on my shoulder.
Let me be...
But I
Oh, I
was
can't
angry.
pause after this.
I felt that if I let my guard down, I would easily be broken. And beyond that, I was scared. But even in the naivete of my youth, I could see in Adam's joking manner how close he felt to me.
How close he felt to
Adam
me.
knows my past,
Okay.
and he knows me better than anyone else. Confession time. Because I was so young when I lost both of my parents, there's no question I saw Adam as a father figure. When I rebelled against him,
Oh my god.
I knew
Oh
I
my
could get
god!
away with
Although
it.
actually it was sort of obvious.
And his paternal compassion in the face of my rebellion reinforced the special bond I felt with him.
Stop that. Stop. No. No flashing back to the cut.
I understood well that chances
This is the
were
worst
slim that
genre
I would
for this
ever
kind of
find
shit.
anyone that understood me like
Literally
Adam.
the worst genre is a Metroidvania
And yet,
for this shit.
when the time came, I still left his side.
This JRPG shit.
I was
Stop
so
it.
young and naive.
I was not
Exactly
prepared.
what transpired here on the bottle ship is still uncertain. Here's what we do know. The equipment we thought had been destroyed is operational again.
This is like
And we've seen
someone
casualties
set out to
attributed
destroy
an
Metroid.
unidentified and lethal creature.
Like,
Situation
let me
is
make
critical.
something that's antithetical to
We
Metroid.
need
It's
to
like the
gather
Star
all the
Wars
information
prequels. It
we
really
can,
is.
But priority one
Completely
is to find any
misunderstanding the
survivors
property.
and bring them to safety.
Can I let me pause yet? No.
Consider this site extremely dangerous. Be careful as you make your sweeps. And there's one problem. The wireless interference in this facility is all-pervasive. Your comm systems are useless. As a result, communication channels will be limited to the facility's navigation booths.
That's convenient.
Well then, Lyle, investigate Sector 1.
No. No, don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't
Maurice,
care who Lyle
you cover
is.
Sector 2.
I don't want to know who Maurice is. It was bad enough that there were
Anthony,
other characters in
Sector
Prime
3.
3. Stop it!
Leave it to you to decide whether plasma guns are called for.
All right.
James, check out the control bridge.
No.
Communication issues might be the result of electrical interference.
Yes, sir.
And KG, run a complete sweep of the residential quarters and investigate any trace of survivors.
Got it.
Each of you is authorized to use a freeze gun.
I'm gonna
Do not
transfer to
forget check
laughing
in
soon. I'm
regularly
not there
via
yet. I'm
navigation
still in
booths.
mourning.
And Samus, you go
I'm
to
still
the
in
system
denial.
management room. Do
This
everything
isn't
you
real,
can to
right?
get the electrical
This is a
system back
this
up
is a
and running.
dream.
Looks like your comm system is still functional. Remember,
Prime 3 felt like it
everything
was
you see
like
will also appear on this screen.
the appearances of other characters, the
Regarding
dialogue in
auxiliary
that
weapons,
game
the use of bombs has
felt
been
like a
authorized.
cardinal sin.
As far as
The
your
use
other
of bombs
weapons
has
go,
been
we will continue to
authorized.
investigate and authorize use as we can.
Okay.
However, we currently have no plans to authorize the use of power bombs.
You don't realize
As you know, they
how
have the ability
reasonable
to
they
spread
were.
a high-temperature heat wave over a large area, impacting living things, which is a nice way of saying they can vaporize humans instantly. You should be well aware of how dangerous power bombs are, and how their devastation can't be obstructed with common materials. Once the mission in the system management room is complete, I
Now
need
we're
you to report
justifying
back.
something?
I'll give you your next orders then. I want you all to be especially careful as you execute your missions.
I mean, okay, from a storytelling
That's the end of the
perspective,
briefing.
you cannot use your power bombs ever, no matter what.
It was the first joint
She
mission
does
I've
the
been
thumbs
a part
down
of
from
since
her gun
becoming a
arm.
freelance bounty hunter. And of course, It was the first time since my Federation days that I was following the orders of a commanding officer. Having received mission orders from Adam,
The thumbs up thing is
I felt confused and strangely
shockingly dumb.
exhilarated at the unexpected turn of events. I responded. Understood, Adam. No objections, of course.
What was with the fast triple cut pose? Oh. Alright, what I was trying to pause to say, and I'm going to probably say this multiple times, it is fine if Samus is a flawed character. In fact, I actively don't want Samus to be a badass, perfect superhero that slow motion dodges everything in a peril-free fashion. And I think that, again, it's something that the previous games did well, right? Like Super Metroid, she's vulnerable in the scene where she's basically killed by the mother brain, and then the baby Metroid rescues her. Great, I love it. Works great. It's short, communicates everything you need to know, it's dangerous, it's scary, fine. There's some elevator scenes in some of the other games where she talks about her insecurities about things, perfect. This is on a different level than that. I'm not saying that, oh no, Samus was perfect and they made her unperfect and that's the problem. That's not what the problem is. The problems are manifold, and I'm really excited to watch that What Happened video once this is done, because seriously,
Samus,
what
head for
happened?
the system management room.
Okay. Just seeing the map, how much ground you covered in 30 minutes. It's fine. Can I get over there? Oh, I can't. Must be a different way to get in there. Okay. We have to restore the power first, maybe? I'll just follow the objective marker. Yeah, I'm currently backtracking. Hey, a secret. Well, that's neat. The dodge mechanic's kind of neat. This game has like weirdly scripted combat encounters similar to like a Devil May Cry kind of game, right? There are some load-bearing bosses in Metroid and some rooms where you have to kill all the enemies to progress like a Zelda game, but they're few and far between. Are they serious with this shit? I get it, there's mosquito guys. How many more of them can there be? Okay, I get the feeling that I'm not supposed to just stand here shooting these things. What do you guys want me to do then? Want me to wall jump out of here? Oh, those are targetable nests? Okay. Thanks. This game has held my hand so much up to this point that I wasn't expecting there to be anything in the game where I had to figure something out on my own. Thought Adam was gonna pop in and be like, Samus, shoot the nests. This really feels like Devil May Cry 1. Can we... Jumping on enemies thing is kind of cool. Devil May Cry 1, but 9 years newer. I mean, there's certain elements to the layout of the stages in Devil May Cry that feel Metroidvania-ish. It's definitely not one. Overblast. Tries to pick up that missile tank. I love how he like immediately authorized missiles too. It kind of makes it that much worse. Samus is too cool for ladders. Weird invisible walls, that's fine, happens. I'm not clear which ones are supposed to be interactable, right? I think it's the vent on the left side that these opened up for. Is there a chute over here in this room before? There it is. Okay, I don't think I'm meant to be able to get in there yet. That one they were willing to just arbitrarily say, she doesn't have it, that's fine. We need to explain why she has to turn her bombs off. Well, the way the missiles work in this game, it makes sense. You're not really using them all the time. Another cutscene.
Samus, go through the hatch on your right and head towards Sector 1. Lyle went ahead to secure a route to a facility of interest. I'll leave you to survey Sector 1.
Once people get really good at hacking Wii games, someone should make a hack of this that just has the level layout, removes all the cutscenes, removes all the other characters. Oh, you can't freely fire missiles. Missiles can only be launched at things that are explicitly missile-able. This is potentially a cool secret. That's pretty neat, actually. Some cool secret hiding design space in this whole third person versus first person thing. Seriously. Am I not supposed to be able to do this yet? Oh, it blocks me from doing it at a certain height. Incredible. There's just like an invisible wall that stops me from bouncing up there. That's too bad. I thought that was a neat secret concept. Stock sci-fi door opening sound. You just gotta get creaky grate sound and pottery smashing sound now. The whole thing of you will never be allowed to use the power bomb, I'm fine with that idea. Pretty good storytelling thing that, okay, we're almost certainly going to use the power bomb for something dramatic late in the game, right? If that was the only thing he said, is like, oh, I know you got all these cool abilities, knock yourself out, but by the way, never use the power bomb. Yeah, more load-bearing enemies, like... We'll see. This is a Devil May Cry game so far. Set in the Metroid universe. It doesn't have the combo system, but maybe at some point the exploration is going to more resemble a Metroidvania.
This elevator is bound for Sector 1, a level 3. Warning is now in effect.
Metroidvania is a tricky genre. It's kind of like describing something as being Zelda-like. Like, what makes it Zelda-like, right? There's probably 1,000 games you can say have things in common with Zelda. But there's only a few games like Okami where it's like, okay, this really feels like this is a Zelda game. Yeah, controls are fairly tight. Switching to first person is a neat idea. So far it's been kind of boring in boss fights because it's like it just auto locks on to the thing that you're supposed to be able to shoot. And then an NPC tells you to shoot it, but maybe not every boss fight will be like that. Sakamoto insists on overseeing the English localization. Which is why it has all the weird repetition of baby at the beginning. Okay. Dude, it's kind of awkward to transition in between. Like, when you're in first person it feels fine, and when you're in third person it feels fine. Moving between them feels kind of weird. So because I can't aim missiles wherever... Okay, never mind. I thought the thing in front of it was blocking it. You refill missiles by concentrating. hear them adhering literally to Japanese speech conventions. Yeah, the script it's shockingly bad. I had no idea that there were script issues in addition to just the basic story concept issue. I thought it was just a story concept problem and that story concept was executed perfectly fine. It's just that the concept was problematic. I didn't realize that it was a bad concept executed poorly, right? You're reading a poorly translated manga. Hey, it's a Lizalfos. Turns invisible sometimes, that's cute. And I can only see him in first person when he does that. Hooray! Okay. There's an external manga that was required reading. You guys not? Or if you're going to, can you at least like drop stuff? Alright guys, let's try this again. Yeah, I guess I would characterize the gameplay as an interesting idea. It's not amazing. Like that chameleon boss fight was weird. It felt like I was playing a different kind of game. Yeah, the environment art is cool. I like that. It looks like the game front-loaded a lot of the garbage. I was starting to worry that they were going to do those ridiculous hammy cutscenes as frequently as they did in the first, like, 20 minutes. So this could be worse. Dude, don't... Are you serious? Wow. Oh, you get a chance to heal when you're at 0. Snake! Apparently you can heal. Oh, it doesn't matter because of the checkpoint system. Okay. Switching from the one button to the A button to fire when you go to first person is a little weird. You see me come out of first person and immediately drop into morph ball, that's why. So morph ball is the big A button when you're holding the Wiimote sideways. Okay, I wasn't clear on how that whole HP restoration thing works. I guess I'll try it next time. You get a chance to pick yourself back up when you're down to 0, I guess? Something like that? All I can guess is that they finished this game and didn't think there were story problems, right? Definitely has, well, I don't know. I mean, you watch George Lucas watching Phantom Menace, and it's pretty clear that him and everyone in the room realize that it's a nightmare. There's the whole, like, may have gone too far in places thing, right? So I don't think it's like RE6 where they were trying to salvage something at the last second. I'm also not sure that they put this out and they're like, oh, it's fucking awesome. People are gonna love it. We're not misunderstanding anything about our property. Yeah, right, Walter? Promoted to heal. The first time they're going to teach me about the healing mechanic. It's at 4 HP. As an enemy was walking into me. I guess that's replaced the typical Metroid healing pickups. This game must be a huge hassle to speedrun. There's a lot of unskippable sequences like that. Enemies don't drop anything, because you can freely recharge your missiles. Oh, I see. I'm supposed to turn into a morph ball. Okay. Didn't realize that I could in that, because this is one of those games where it's like your Devil May Cry sort of game, where enemies have these cool custom attack animations where you just can't do anything until it's over. But that's one where you're supposed to be able to turn into a morph ball and blow yourself out of it. Which is cool, that makes sense. But up to this point, the game had taught me, hey, when you get grabbed, just wait for the cutscene to be over, and then you can play again. Oh, you get that cool bomb effect. Neat. So can I only heal when I'm almost dead? I'm not really clear on that mechanic. Trying to practice the dodge effects. Oh, you can do it even in midair, wow. Not in the corner, not in the middle. Very much near field of vision. Game has a 55 out of 100. It's the worst Prime game, Prime 3. It's kind of cool using the plane to switch sections of the level there. Oh, I see. I think I'm supposed to come in here to see that there's a pickup in the back. Maybe I access from the opposite side? Question mark. I wonder, why did the Japanese hate this game? I'm like, there's no way this can boil down just to localization issues. The premise is bad. The ridiculous cutscenes. The whole thing with the thumbs up was so bad. It's that kind of like, it's not just baffling bad, but it's embarrassing bad. It's the someone thought this was cool. Cool and appropriate for this character. What the fuck? Oh, now they removed her face. They just wanted to let her emote. Samus needs to emote more. Stare doe-eyed and lovingly at him. See, I think that's true for some games like Resident Evil 6, but it sounds like Nintendo is perfectly proud of this product.
The large cage-like booth looked like something had been raised in it. And in one corner was the miserable form of a
cage-like
researcher's
booth?
corpse.
You mean a giant cage?
This victim hadn't sustained the same injuries. The dead I'd seen had been torn apart by something large.
It never helps when the worst entry is the longest.
Different type of creature.
One of the Prime games might be longer.
The violence this creature had wrought, I felt something in the air. The presence of a dark intelligence.
Or none of that. Do they want me? What the fuck? Okay, I guess that's it. I triggered an event flag. Who doesn't love event flags? The door locks behind you. This is a Wii game. So you have to do the first-person aiming. New cutscenes, poor atmosphere, too linear, authorization system was annoying, bad music, poor voice acting, poor characterization for Samus, writing felt childish, awkwardness of the search view in combat. Yeah, yep. Sounds right to me. Okay. Is that not a blow-upable vent? We're back now. Why is that door not open? Yeah, maybe it really is the Star Wars prequels, Walter. Did he have a lot of creative control? No. Wait, did it say that? I didn't see any pop up. Hold on. Oh, at the bottom, okay. Even just kind of the feel of transitioning between rooms feels very much like Devil May Cry. I'm gonna try to think on how it's different from that. Hey, can I use my super missile? It says that's the way I'm supposed to go. Kind of a cool forced camera angle there, I guess. See it fly. I think I'm out of denial. I don't remember the order. I moved through all 5 during the opening. Yeah, you want me to see a thing. What? What do you want me to do, game? So I think they're trying to build tension here, that I'm like looking around for like whatever this sound is. I think it does the color change when you go out of the legal aiming range, or when the controller should be pointed at the screen and it's not, like if you're holding it in its normal fashion. Oh no, that's what they're having me do? No. Don't do the fucking mascot shit. Turn into a big monster and eat my face.
Samus, proceed through the hatch.
This is Wii U Virtual Console.
Your next destination is a little further ahead.
You have to use a Wii U mode. You can't play Wii U Virtual Console games that are from the Wii without one. Fuss about submissiveness, remember how childish and weak. Yeah. Childish is a good description. It's like, this could maybe work if this was supposed to be like her first adventure. Like if this is like, oh, reimagine the setting as, let's explore Samus before she was cool, right? Let's do like a Tomb Raider 2013 thing. She's green, she doesn't have the power suit for whatever reason, because she's in the Federation, but instead they just say that in a flashback she's in the Federation, right? Like if this was how Samus became a badass, or something, like if it took place that early and then at the end she reunites with the Chozo and realizes she don't need no man or whatever. But having it be after Super Metroid, after she's already had tons of very successful solo adventures, it just doesn't make sense. I think Tomb Raider 2013 is a really good comparison for criticism. Like, there's a game where Lara Croft is very vulnerable and very flawed. Takes a long time to get over her issues, and still has issues by the end of the game. She's not a perfect character. But it's not, like, garbage. It's not embarrassing garbage. Hey, thanks, Conveyance Bugs. Playtesters have trouble finding that thing? What the fuck is this? An illusion tower? I don't know, I don't completely understand how the health system works in this game, but I don't like that enemies having no drops means that I'm very incentivized to just avoid them. Right, at least if I'm low on health, I'm like, oh, I should kill some enemies, get some of my missiles back, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. But I feel like there's no point to fight them unless if it's a load-bearing enemy door. There is an outdoor environment in this. I think there's some kind of, they established the weird illusion machine. So this outdoor area might actually just be an illusion as well. Secret in the waterfall, is that what we're getting at? Okay, that's kind of cool. Wait, so killing the enemies causes you to see the items that are in the room? Are you gonna wake up in a second and fight me or something? Like, what the fuck? Where did that pop-up come? I don't think I saw that at all. There have been a couple points where people have said, oh yeah, the game told you this thing, and I'm like, what? I didn't see that. They must have realized after they came up with this whole system, shit, the player has no reason to fight the enemies, we gotta give them a reason. God, press the button. There you go. Jumping feels weird in this 3D game. There's a reason why they gave Mario a punch attack in Mario 64. It's kind of a cool monster design. I can't jump off that ledge, apparently. Alright, so last time it gave me a second to heal when I was at 0. How does healing work? Does anyone know? Can I do it at any time or only when I'm at red health? Let's see. And that's the only way to restore health, is to get to critical. I can't, like, tactically heal. Oh, I think that thing under the waterfall respawned. Is this thing stuck now? It's totally stuck in that chamber. This still doesn't feel like a Metroidvania. I'm guessing at some point it's gonna divert. I've never heard that as a criticism of this, though, so I assume you get more freedom to explore later on, and more ability to unlock your own upgrades and stuff. Hoping. Well, I feel like we would have heard that, right? And the only reason I could see people not saying, hey, this game's actually a Devil May Cry game, not a Metroid game, is that there's already some weird overlap between Devil May Cry and Metroidvanias. It's like, yeah, you technically get power-ups, and they're technically progression things that let you go places you weren't able to go before, but not really, because really you're kind of progressing through the game in a really linear fashion. You're never passing by the door that needs the thing, getting the thing, and then coming back to the door with the thing, right? Not in Devil May Cry, anyway. There are other concerns about the game in general, that's fair. What the fuck? I can... Do you want me to point at it? It's in a toilet? The only toilet with a handle? Am I supposed to be able to access that thing right now? No, I cannot morph mold. What? Just... charge faster. Okay. I had to find the right tile to stand on to press the 1 button for her to interact with it, because it was an interactable door, it turned out. I kind of liked how, you know, in previous games, Samus interacts with things using her guns and her bombs. If there's something that she needs to interact with that doesn't use her guns or her missiles or her bombs, then she just stands on it and that's good enough. Not supposed to be able to do this part yet, am I? Okay. Where the fuck does it want me to go? Backtracking, this can't be right. The do button. I'm not meant to be able to progress out of this room, right? She doesn't like to jump straight up to grab onto these, it looks like. It's like I have to jump from the ledge to be able to make it or something? Oh, there we go. What the fuck? I'm struggling to describe why this is janky. It looks like it should just be, you know, press the button and press the direction you want to jump. That is not what's happening. What causes her to grab the ledge? I am fundamentally misunderstanding something about the way that jumping is supposed to work in this section. Right. Oh, that's cute. It just fucking kills you. I love that they do the thing where the game shows you, hey, there's another thing you're supposed to shoot. I know it looks like it's gonna make the thing fall, but we're like showing you in a cutscene the thing that we want you to do. What? I gotta climb this thing again. That's gonna be fun. Seriously, I do not understand. So part of it is she's like partially bound to a ledge. Like when you're standing on the edge of a area, you can't walk off of it. So there's this weird like kind of invisible wall that you have to be able to cross. Okay. Let's... What? Do they want me to exit the room and then shoot the thing and then get out of the room so I don't get crushed? Okay, so I think what it is you have to press the jump button in order to grab onto a ledge. Contrary to the way other Metroid games work, where if you are approaching a grabbable ledge, you just grab on. If you don't press the jump button, she just keeps flying in the air. Yeah, so like, see, I can't walk off this ledge, so there's this weird, like, gap that I have to clear when I jump in order to get back on this thing. And there's a ledge I'm supposed to get on to be able to shoot it there. Don't ask me to aim that far down, game. I literally can't. Dude, fuck. Why does it not? And then it just falls on its own eventually? The implication being that there was pressure on the thing and there was an invisible time limit that it was just going to drop if I waited long. Whatever, it's fine. See, what I didn't understand is that the thing was going to fall no matter what happened. I'm all about cool stuff that you're supposed to figure out like that, but the game has to prepare me for the idea that it wants me to figure stuff out, right? Like jump down there and then shoot up at the thing and then make it fall. Yeah, but I think that the explodey thing was on the same side of the wall as me. Thanks, Ratchet. Can I use the interact button arbitrarily in any of these consoles? It's just the floating thing from earlier.
You're super awesome.
Why was that even there? Upset speedrunners. So think for yourself, difficulty spike. Yeah. To this point, you haven't had to, and we haven't set you up to think you have to. I don't think I've ever played a game that's done that before. I have to think about it. Or like I get in the wrong brain space because the game has held my hand so closely, and then suddenly it just doesn't. It's not worth it. Just don't fight anything. Second one was on the opposite. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense then, if that's what they were trying to make me do. There's basically never hand-holding in this series. What? Was that a cutscene, or was that something I was supposed to interact? So like after it took control away from the character and zoomed in on the enemy's snake, I should have pretended it was Resident Evil 4 and popped up on the screen and with like a D-pad button to tap it to dodge out of the way. I love that missiles are context sensitive. You can never fire a missile unless if the game locks on to something. We've explicitly set it up so that you can't bomb jump anywhere special. Yeah, there's just an invisible wall, invisible ceiling. I have to first person them, okay. So like this is a cutscene, and I can't do anything during that, right? Yeah, it's important to Devil May Cry that enemies drop things. Getting rid of drops feels really bad. The way it ended up working out, I was like, oh, I can avoid the damage. I can avoid enemies if I'm feeling really good, but if I'm taking damage, then I should fight them in order to get resources back. I can't do the dodge while I'm in first-person view, right? Maybe I can actually. Let me try it. No, it doesn't work. Okay. Do something earlier to make them damageable by accident? While they're charging their shot, they can be damaged, I think. There's like no time to aim that when that happens. God, where the fuck is it? I got one hit off. Switching between first-person view by moving the entire controller towards the screen. If you just had a nunchuck, it would fix this whole problem, right? You would just like hold down the C button or something to switch to aiming mode. But I can't switch targets, it's whatever it chooses to lock onto. See, I'm trying to target this guy, but the other guy's in the way. And I can't because there's shots in the way. No, I think I have to missile these guys, don't I? You can only missile in first person? Oh, okay, never mind. Try to wait to heal until it's dead. Hold on. It's for killing these things. There's never a boss that makes me try to aim in a temporary window like that and lock onto the proper creature. But they're always enemies that you're meant to just shoot with the blaster. It seems like the missiles are almost like a press A to do, like Kingdom Hearts style context sensitive finisher thing. Not really something that you do in normal combat. No, I think when you were seeing me dodge, it was because I was switching back to holding it like this instead of like this. But I'll try it next time there's an easier enemy. Okay, that was a cutscene, but nothing happened that provoked button presses. Yeah, I think those robot enemies... So the whole thing is like... Oh, they're immune to blaster fire, because when I shoot them with the blaster, they deflect the shots. Got it. So they must be weak against missiles. And then you happen to shoot them with the missile at the moment that they open their gun. Great. You're like, oh, okay, then they must be weak against missiles, but only when they open. Hey, what's up, Ludifex? This game is shockingly bad with effects. Even with a decade of preparation for people hating it. It's worse than I thought it was going to be. Okay, this seems like a good enemy to practice the first-person dodge on. Alright, facing the screen. Press the right button, facing the stream, press the dodge button, press the dodge button, press the dodge button. Alright, I'm coming off of it now. Dodge. Maybe you unlock it later in the game? Just making sure I wasn't crazy, because I could have been crazy. The gameplay's alright, it has some cool ideas. I don't think this is a Metroid game, though. I think this is a Devil May Cry game. Excuse me. There's like a minimum number of seconds that has to pass when you transition from first person to third person. Like if time slowed down during the transition, that would help a lot, I think. Or if it paused for a second as you took like half a second to take aim. Devil May Cry is pretty shitty. Gaiden games are similar to DMC, sure. Yeah, I was expecting the story to be bad and the gameplay to be really, really good. But the story is really bad and the gameplay is fine. With some obviously super janky moments here and there. Don't think you were making that punch up. Good thing they gave us the invisible ceiling then, I guess. I don't think that's an open door now, right? I guess the gameplay for this would have been better if it was with the nunchuck. It was kind of crazy and ambitious to like make such complicated gameplay that's locked behind holding the controller NES style. So we want it to be accessible, we want it to be NES style, but you're gonna have to like change the orientation constantly. Hope that it registers the orientation change correctly. Here, I'll try to show you. The nunchuck is for hardcore games. Sports. Yeah. That's still a super missile door. Now, the idea of switching between third person and first person is neat. I guess I was expecting, given how bad the story is, that the gameplay would be mind-blowing and really, really good. And the parallel of, like, Metroid Prime. Like, I basically had the gameplay of Samus Returns for the 3DS in my head. Which is great. Solid Metroid gameplay. Nothing particularly fancy about it, but... Thanks. Is there supposed to be an alternate path up there in here somewhere? I don't think so. I think if the story wasn't terrible, I would be less harsh on the gameplay. Be like, yeah, whatever, they're, you know, this is new, I'm sure they'll figure it out eventually. Oh, this is the thing I already got. Okay. So what does the green N mean? Do I have a legend somewhere? The missile wasn't so powerful because I hate going into first-person mode. That was a lot more effective. Oh my god, the entire opening was just non-stop embarrassing. The pop-up Samus has decided not to use her weapons was pretty bad. The anime profiles of the other Federation members, the stupid thing with Samus, like, oh, everyone else uses the thumbs up as a sign of whatever, but I'm going to use the thumbs down as my sign. It'll mean that I'm going to obey, but what the fuck are you talking about? Stop. Just stop. Yeah, that thumbs down monologue was shocking. Baffling and shocking. Attack. This game is. Please stop. Whatever you're doing right now, stop it. I just can't believe the game transitioned to actual gameplay for as long as it has. It seemed like it was going to do the constant cutscenes thing early on. I was getting really nervous. Is that helping? Oh, okay. That's kind of neat, actually. A little glitch. I'm down with that. One of those things that's like, oh, I had to do that because the director knew that that was the answer. But why did Samus know to turn on the thing, right? It's weird that I'm so philosophically opposed to an interact button. Like, obviously Samus does a lot of stupid, goofy shit in every game, right? Like, oh, Samus has to drop a bunch of bombs in this wall, go into a glass chamber and drop a power bomb. But the fact that you're using your weapon mechanics and just interacting with things with your toolkit makes it feel like you're improvising. But when it's a console that you, like, press the 2 button on in order to make it do a thing, it's like, oh, Samus knows what she's doing, and she knows she's supposed to go over to this console and press this button in order to progress. It's like, she knows that there's a busted wall, and she's going to turn on the hologram to be able to see where it is. Biological experiment for... Opening the bathroom door to get that one power-up was really weird. Felt super inappropriate. Sliding down ledges is fun. Yeah, but there was no hologram in the room yet, Ravenon. I had to turn the hologram on. In order to see that there was a flaw in the hologram, in order to bomb that and progress. Oh yeah, the sci-fi idea of having to, like, go between the holodeck version and the real version is super cool. I agree, that's a cool idea. Yeah, so, okay, the premise, the puzzle premise was a cool idea. Basically, somewhere in the room that was boring and gray, there was a teeny tiny little crack in the wall. And what you were supposed to do is you were supposed to turn on the hologram so the room stopped looking like a gross boring gray facility and looked like a beautiful jungle. But the crack in the wall didn't work with the hologram, so it was visible while the hologram was turned on. Cool concept. If I had to, like, kill an enemy that was creating an illusion or something like that, it would be neat, I guess. Yeah, they did a level like that in Dishonored 2 as well after Titanfall did it. It's a cool concept. I'm not gonna be able to get over how much I hate healing in this game. Oh my god. You're seeing the invisible, you can't, safety ledge there, where like it's really hard to time the jump to just drop off the edge, because it keeps you from walking off it. I think I'll end up enjoying this game in a similar way that I enjoyed Resident Evil 6. It's playable, right? So there are some bad movies that are intolerable, and there are some bad movies that are watchable. This is a cutscene. I can't push buttons during it. Okay. Pixel hunting. Well, if she just stops monologuing. She monologues so much in the first 30 minutes of the game. I'm not complaining. Like, if you guys know that you can do the game with her shutting up, why would you have her talk so much in the first 30 minutes? In this case, it's actually worse to do the cool execution animation, because the charge beam can hit all of them. God. Once you lock onto one thing, I don't think you can undo it. Okay, so they only become available after you kill some bugs, I guess. Serp. You are the worst, Serp. Yeah, like, locking on while fighting smaller enemies would be fine if I had a nunchuck and I could press a button to lock on instead of completely changing my orientation. And spending the first couple seconds, like, being like, what the fuck way am I facing? What the fuck way is the game saying I'm facing? What's happening now? I'm trying to put my finger on what feels wrong about these boss fights and encounters. It feels like a spectacle brawler. But, like, I don't think I can haven't put my finger on what makes a Spectacle Brawler boss fight different from a Metroidvania boss fight, right? They can both have multiple phases, that's fine. I think the cutscenes as connecting tissue kind of feels icky to me. Oh god. Oh god, whoa, whoa, what the fuck? My character just stopped responding for a second. This is where, like, a traditional healing system would be great, because I could kill these enemies, get some drops from them. Yeah, context-sensitive finishes. I'm not in total control of the missiles, really. The finishers too, right? I guess most of the combat is context sensitive. Like I said, you can't just fire missiles. You can only fire a missile on a thing that is designated as a missile target, like it's a grapple target.
Some creatures use the powers of others to capture their prey.
And she's back.
Watching this disgusting beast, I felt as though it was feeding off my power as well.
What?
At the same time, a thought crossed my mind. That howl I heard earlier, could this creature have been the source?
Samus, head to the biosphere test area in your current sector. There should be some important information about this facility in that exam center. The other members are en route. Quickly, go meet them there.
I feel like this is going to make Fusion worse, right? Since there's the Atom bot. I was saying that earlier, like someone should hack this game to remove all of the cutscenes and monologuing. Could it have been the source? Creature makes identical scream. Yeah, if she just said nothing, she could just be watching the creature, and it's obviously disgusting, and you would get the idea that, oh, gross, okay. And so far, her dialogue has added nothing. If she was just a silent protagonist, it would work a lot better. Yeah. It was the kind of text you would expect to see in like the instruction manual in Super Metroid. They flirted with a couple little things, like there's, I think it's Fusion that she has elevator text, which I'd prefer wasn't there, but it's also fairly brief and mild and maxes out at like a sentence or two. This robot really reminds me of my old commander. Neat. End scene. That's a one. Alright, fine. Yeah. Well, it's like there's little narrative dissonance. Like the character she clearly is, when you're controlling her, is different from the character that's being played in the cutscenes. That's something that they handled really well, and again, I keep comparing it back to Tomb Raider 2013, but like in the points where Lara Croft is supposed to be green and inexperienced, she doesn't have very many weapons and she doesn't have very many enemies to kill, right? You don't get the cool scene where everyone's yelling, "She has a machine gun!" until after you've earned it. Laconic. Is there any word as to whether this game is canon? Yeah, I guess there haven't been any games that have come out, just really just the 3DS remake, and that wouldn't counter anything in this. This game made the crime games uncanon. How embarrassing. I think that sounds right. I guess riding on this thing and having to fire is kind of cool. Fun thing to use the perspective changing for. I don't think, maybe someone can correct me, other than the occasional secret inside of a room, I don't think I've had a single decision to make in this game yet. Like, there hasn't been one branching path. I was like, oh, I could go to this area of the stage or this area. There's a room that had like a bathroom door with an upgrade behind it that looked like it was optional, but it was just one room. I guess I have technically seen doors that I can't open yet, so that's a good sign. I was worried that that wasn't going to be a thing at all. Adam was on first branching paths. It's pretty bad. Game's fine though. The actual gameplay stuff. It's like, this game's gameplay reminds me of something like Zelda 2. Where it's like, if only they iterated on it. They got their base idea out of the way. Let's see if they can make it work a little bit better. Thanks, Kara. It's good to know. And there's still 99 now on your save file? We didn't hack into Game Genie and de-level them? No, that was what was funny is his comment today was like, I just want to let you know that at this point in the game, my characters were still maxed out. It's like, yeah, is it possible for them to not be? If they were earlier, how could they not be anymore? I have to get it from directly below it. We'll get one more post from him probably today. With the VOD that uploaded today. Dude, it feels so bad for enemies to not drop things. I feel like they needed to at least give them some kind of collectible or something. Skill point type thing. Ah, nice, Spiky. Same kind of stuff. Okay. This is a surprisingly open room. I wonder if there will be a boss in here later. This is the second to last one. We just have Fusion after this. I played Fusion off stream before. I remember some of the basic stuff that happens in it, but not like the overall level design. So this is the last one that's like completely 100% blind. Well, that's the thing that happens. Let's try that again. Oh, this is the one I was on before. Maybe it was this one. Oh, I guess I can go turn off the hologram. I guess that's the ultimate objective of this room. No, we did Zero Mission instead of the NES Metroid. For exactly the reason you described. The NES one's rough. I think it's this one. Yeah, I really like Zero Mission. Super Nintendo time capsules. Don't do it again. I can't see where I'm going. There's like a forced perspective here. No, I'm about to die to these zoomers again. Yeah, this is like the only entry. That kind of sucks. Camera control is nice. Oh, it's so stupid. This is a cool look. Features in this game are pretty cool looking. They've got some cool alien ideas in here. I give credit where credit's due. I have to like be ready to aim. There is actually a slight slowdown when you switch to first person. If you have a legitimate target, it looks like. But if you just switch anywhere, I don't think it... No, the story is a nightmare. And it's not even just that, like that's really bad, but like it's also poorly told. Really bad writing, very questionable voice acting for Samus after they previously had Jennifer Hale for her. At least I'm able to like shoot those things out of the air. Boss fights in this game are extremely reliant on the missiles, which is true in main games, but the way that your missiles are aimed the same way as your charge shots makes it feel less bad, I guess. It's the fact that firing a missile in this game is pressing a do button, right? She would have gotten the same awful voice direction, that's true. Wait. Awful voice direction and awful lines. Ewan McGregor did his best with the lines they gave him in the Star Wars prequels. Natalie Portman did her best. Just that I'm so in love with you. The women and the children. There's nothing rich princesses love more than homicidal maniacs who murder children. Anakin. I don't think I want this. There's an item up here, but it looks like it would be such a pain to get up to where it is. If it's like a missile tank, okay. I have infinite missiles. I guess the argument is, well, it's less time you have to spend reloading. Or it would be cool. There's definitely some like genre stuff they can do with Metroid if they wanted to. That would be interesting. Devil May Cry in it though. I will make it legal. Dude, the wall jumping having to press the jump button in order to confirm that you want to grab onto the ledge is all of my instinct has prepared me for the opposite. I'm alright with buildings having specific things that you need the morph ball to manipulate. Like, I've always read that as an abstraction for Samus's resourceful and is using her toolkit to find her way through places. But this is a video game, so we have to have clearly identifiable interaction points. It's especially bad when it's like a space pirate fortress and they've got tons of devices that can only be operated via morph ball. And you're like, I don't know how I feel about the Mario jump, to be honest. Jumping on enemies in a Metroid game feels wrong. I feel like I should be taking contact damage. Future alien building codes. Now, remember the Chozo are part of the Federation. They're not. Gotta make sure you build everything Chozo accessible. Fucking Chozos. Carry around a stack of galactic standard energy orbs. Exactly. I don't think I'm meant to kill those things. Maybe only when they're not open or something. Whatever, there's no point to kill anything in this game. You a load-bearing boss, or can I just leave? It's a load-bearing boss. I gotta go back and watch that thumbs up, thumbs down scene again if I ever want to die again. More than the normal amount. Shit. Oh, so you remember earlier when I was about to die and I'm like, what the hell, I can't move? It's because in a panic, I was trying to move out of first-person view back into third-person view, and I was holding the controller slightly to the side in such a way that it thought I was holding it straight up in order to charge the missile refill. And when you're doing that action, it locks you in place, you get rooted. So if you're not careful when you're almost dead, you can root yourself and then get nukes. Feel better about some other games than this. It's like, you get what they're trying to do, right? It's like, okay, we should give her a thing. Let's flesh out Samus a little bit. Let's have a cute little, like, thing that she did. But it's like, oh, it's so dumb. And you don't buy it either. Like, you use a thumbs down to stand out because you're a woman, but it still means that you... What? No, stop. Stop it now. Yeah, do a nod. That would be less dumb. Maybe that came across as less stupid in Japanese, but I don't think so. So I'm trying to think about the boss fights in this game. Let's take a typical another Metroid 2 remake boss fight since we just played that game. Like, usually the loop is the enemy has a weak point. A weak point's only vulnerable from certain angles, so you kind of have to fit yourself into that angle, try to fire a shot, and then get out before you take contact damage or are hit by one of the enemy's attacks. That's fine. This game, the boss fights seem to mostly be about there is a auto-lock context-sensitive missile button, and you can't aim, right? Like, you're just locked on. So it's not move around and aim and try to find the right spot. It's just lock on and then wait until there's not something obstructing you, and then press the A button. 1950s gender prejudice, 2010s Japan gender prejudice. Yeah, that's fair. Middle finger would be better, but it's not consistent with what she said it meant. If the whole thing was like, oh, I was insubordinate, right? Make her disgraced, make her get kicked out. I was saying, have her start without the power suit in this game. Like, have her start as an actual Federation Marine or whatever in the costume. It makes me wonder if they wanted this to be the prequel, like this is how Samus became a world-renowned bounty hunter. But instead they put that stuff off screen. It's like a flashback. Take our word for this thing that has never actually happened in the games. Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, I think rookie Samus would have been fine with it. It would have been a little weird at first. Like, oh, she doesn't have the Zero suit, she doesn't have the power suit. I think the lore is supposed to be that, like, the Chozo raised her and she's, like, had her power suit her whole life. So you'd have to, like, come up with some reason why she's not using it. Maybe it's like, oh, she joins the Federation. They need her to learn how to do shit with their technology. I don't know, whatever. But I think it fits better when it's, like, she's a complete green rookie and Adam is like, you know, okay, here's your missiles. This is your first time using them. We're going to show you how they work. And you're like learning as you go. Adam didn't authorize it. It feels bad because we know that Samus already has Metroid 2, all 3 Prime games behind her. Like, this character does not exist in a vacuum. This takes place right after Super Metroid. It opens with the mother brain fight. That's why she's like freaking out about the baby that rescues her during that fight. I can't keep track of it. They basically never do a chronological sequel to a Metroid game, so who the hell knows? Metroid 2 was at one point a direct sequel to Metroid, but now there are interstitial games, interquels. Yeah, exactly the same. No, I'm just gonna keep headcanoning that. Alright. Metroid Other M fanfiction. Metroid Other edit. Just not really a fan at that point, right? It's just a for fun thing. Oh my god, do I have a branching path? Not really. Prime 1 is good. I could keep Prime 1 without breaking anything. Prime 2 and 3 are also very good games. The story doesn't really add anything, especially it being an interval. I kind of want to know what happens after after Fusion, because Fusion changes the status quo pretty significantly. And it's still chronologically the last game. Okay. The soundtrack in this game makes me sad too. It's definitely not Metroid music, right? Like, I don't think they had any of the same composers for Metroid Prime, but that soundtrack felt very Metroid. Vendrana drifts. This one just kind of has a lot of, like, space horror, Hollywood. This game has a soundtrack? Yeah, it just now occurred to me that I've not heard any interesting music. This place is supposed to be like super creepy because there's a couple dead drones lying around. You think those are supposed to be humans? Well, it's just the series up to this point has had such great ambient, atmospheric music. This is just like run-of-the-mill Hollywood sci-fi horror. I don't expect prog rock bangers from Metroid, but...
Hey, Samus.
Hi.
Where's Lyle?
Looks like he's late. Huh?
Hey. The CPU seems to have self-destructed. The central system is broken into...
If they weren't all in uniforms, I think these scenes would look less terrible with Samus there.
We might be able to restore it and recover some of the data. Let's try it.
Or if she was in their uniform.
Like the CO said, there might be some pretty crucial information hidden here. Well, while Maurice here is working his magic, the rest of us should search this building. Am I right?
Got it.
Hey, Princess. Does this view bring back any memories? Yeah. Looks like the training grounds of the Galactic Federation.
I thought they were about to flash back. Okay. The way it faded there. Dude, I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if this game was originally conceived as a like a really far back prequel. How Samus got her groove kind of story. It looks so weird in all these cutscenes where she's in her full armor and stuff. I Like, why would you think of this as your idea for your game that follows up Super Metroid in the timeline? I think you only ever get inner monologue from Samus. Like when she's riding the elevator, that kind of thing. Metroid 1, she's already an established bounty hunter, right? She's just going off and doing a particular mission. Like, I'm thinking if this was conceived as taking place before Metroid 1... Right. Oh, you're talking about this game. Right. Yeah, she said something to Adam like she was going to give him advice or something. Walking simulator parts are interesting. Space pirate. Oh, it was Chozo. What do you want me to detect? Game, what do you want from me? I seriously have no idea what it wants from me. Why does it even let me shoot?
Adam, are you seeing this? It's a Zebesian, but it's been cybernetically enhanced. What is this thing?
I don't know. Continue your investigation.
There she's talking directly to... Can't use Wi-Fi communications, except constantly.
All right. So I managed to recover one piece of data. This bottle ship is under management of the Galactic Federation. In these facilities, life forms from each planet have been raised and researched as possible bioweapons. Site Manager and Development Director, Dr. Madeline Bergman.
Adam,
no, stop.
Was the Galactic Federation experimenting with bioweapons?
Stop.
Looks like it.
Use of bioweapons is strictly prohibited.
Stop it.
What's happened here is illegal.
Who is Madeline Bergman?
They do the whole, like, doesn't this look like a trading facility? What? Looks like a jungle.
I didn't need to press Adam about it any further. I knew his mind. Not only was he a strong
They just lock you up. You're doing this now.
He was against the use of living things for unnecessary reasons, period. Life, no matter what form it takes as it's born into this often cruel universe, should not be tampered with. That was Adam's philosophy. In bringing the infant Metroid back, I did something that I know would have gone against his convictions.
Oh, she didn't say baby.
And though I might have been left alone, It was a clear and blatant violation of protocol. I wondered what Adam thought of me. Out of nowhere, I suddenly found myself concerned with his opinion again.
Out of nowhere again?
Almost
This whole
gotten it
time.
completely restored. But I'll bet they protected this thing with a seriously sophisticated security system. If I can't get past it, James, that'll be where you come in.
Leave it to me. Shouldn't be a problem to hack into this thing. I mean, it might tell us what exactly was going on here. Looks like this might take some time, though.
Madeline might still be somewhere in this building. Keep scouting for more intel. Let's go.
Go find Dr. Madeline Bergman. Stop it. Just stop. This is secretly Resident Evil. Yeah, stop having name characters you clearly have no intention of making worth naming. That is... Thank you for succinctly describing why I've been outraged by... His name is Lyle! Like, you know that I don't care. I know that you don't care. Don't show me their profile with a rotating face, are you kidding? So, if the dream is you take the same story ideas in this game and you reframe it as Samus's first mission in the Federation force, like, I think what you do is you kill everyone. We know that Adam dies because of Metroid fusion. So you make it the game where she learns that she has to fend for herself and she can't depend on anyone, which is why all the other games are so lonely and she doesn't deal with anybody else. So you start the game, that could be brilliant actually. You start the game with this whole team and there's all these weird dialogue and cutscenes and you like slowly peel that away as you progress through the game until the end, when it's just her with the power suit, right? Hey guys, happy to walking simulator past you here in this Metroidvania title. What a treat this is. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Even if they wanted to do it as like a mild retcon, because I think the Metroid lore about Samus was raised by the Chozo and has always had the power armor, I think most of that goes all the way back to like the original Metroid like instruction manual and Nintendo Power supplemental material, right? I don't think that's necessarily been critical to the actual plot of any of these games. So if you're going to retcon something, even the helmet comes off and give everyone different faces, with the different faces are just maximum generic. Didn't know that she could use their tech. That's a cool idea. It's fun to brainstorm ways to fix this, because I think there's a nugget of something cool in here, and I think that's part of what's infuriating about it, is that it's so bad even though they could have done something neat with it. I don't think they want me to walking simulator all the way back, but I also don't know why they'd let me come back here when all of the soldiers are around the facility. This has been the most linear Metroid game by far. Like, Walter was talking about Metroid 2 being linear, and it's really just the fact that, like, you don't really return back to old zones, but inside the zones there's all kinds of, like, you can go left and you can go right. You go left for like 15 rooms, then you find out, oh, that's a dead end, I'll have to come back way later. Yeah, they're just telling us that she has this relationship with Adam, but if it was literally that Adam was her, like, CO in her first green mission or something, and she doesn't have any weapons because she's the rookie on the mission, and they're, like, telling her when it's okay for her to try them out. Seriously. Alright, I guess I gotta backtrack. He's very angry. Him and his brother are both bowing at me. Furiously. I feel like if you're going to have these segments where you have to move really slowly like this, it needs to be super clear where the game wants you to go. Right? Like when this happens in FF7 Remake, it's always like a corridor. There's no choices. They're doing it for like dramatic purposes and to build tension and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like it's like, oh, this is the reason she's not in the Federation. This is why she's a bounty hunter. This is why she works alone. Da 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 da. You could give her some vulnerability there, where you could be like, so she actually has problems with other people, and then you could do a sequel after that. Seriously. It's a space pirate. Zabesians, I guess.
Get back!
I want all the soldiers to evacuate this area. Samus, your orders are to take care of all enemy targets.
Samus!
What? Why? Why would I be the only one that's allowed to fight them? What the fuck? If I die, that's okay, because we're at time. I don't need to save anything. Dude, I tried to heal there and it morph balled me because it's the same button. It just depends on the orientation of the Wiimote. That's fine. Future Mars said, fight the space pirates. It's like right in the next room. You're fine. Oh, fuck. I thought it was to put me back to the save point. But I did save recently, so I think this is fine. Story. No. Let me just confirm that I'm loading from outside this room when I load the game here. Second. Not that there's anything I can do about it, but then I'll know for next week. Past Marcia is sorry you're not done with this game. This game definitely is in that category of baffling AAA game. And it's a different kind of baffling than Sonic 06 or Resident Evil 6. I think this is right. Okay, yeah. We're good. Thanks, folks, for hanging out. I'll let you guys know what's coming up.